Check.
Dope. All right, you ready?
Sure.
All right, so welcome everyone. This is the Will Mosley podcast. I like to go by Will instead of William. Like, what do you like to go by? Like, do you have like a preference?
Well, I mean, Alex is what most people call me. That's what I like. But
Because like your Facebook's like Charles, right?
right. Well, I'll tell you a funny story. Starting off like the name thing
Let's roll.
is I always grew up Alex, right? Like here in Asheville, I was Alex everywhere. When I went, I had that weird thing in my life where I moved out west. I went to Portland. I went to San Francisco, and I was like, I wonder what it'll be like if I have people call me different names. So I started introducing myself to everyone. Everyone on the West Coast knows me as Charles.
Wow.
And it didn't change things. Like it was the same. I'm still the same person. Like people treated me the same way. But now all my West Coast friends know me as Charles, and all my East Coast friends know me as Alex. And I mess it up. I switch. Now I come to Asheville. I introduce myself as Charles sometimes, and sometimes as Alex, and people get confused because I'll forget which one I introduce myself as.
It's James Bond.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So, Alex by birth, Charles by what do you call like an artist that goes by like what's it called like a suit like a
nom de plume, right.
Oh my God, nom
de
plume.
Oh, that's
nice.
that's a fancy French
that's
nom de
French.
plume. Yeah.
All right, so
The writing name.
Pretty much what I do on the podcast, I'm going to kind of give you a little bit of a buffer and also our audience that hasn't heard me before. So I like to talk a lot about the creative process, come up, just overall whatever has happened in your life that's gotten you to today, and not like more, not exactly career-wise, but just like you as a person. Like I feel like I've been doing the same shit since I was like 12 years old, just in a different way. I used to grow up like drawing manga and stuff like that, like art, whatever, and I knew that one day I wanted to release a manga book or whatever. And of course it didn't work out that way, but the whole thing was that I wanted to be creative. I wanted to do something for myself. And that's when I stumbled upon like fine art. Like I ended up, going from drawing into like art 1, art 2, art 3, art 4, like classes. And that's when I realized I could maybe make a living off of this. It didn't become like, it wasn't just like a pipe dream, It was just like I went from looking at all the manga books and Books A Million, rest in peace, Books A Million,
Right.
to like realizing that I can create a concentration with my art teacher, and then I ended up jumping into graphic design. So that's kind of like just a smidge, just a touch on my story as far as like how I've been vibing. I'm at a completely different point, but I feel like I'm still have the same energy, still have the same passion, just maybe a little bit more confident. So tell me about yourself. Like, how do you introduce yourself? What do you do? What do you love to do? Like, let's talk.
Well, I feel kind of the same way about the 12-year-old thing. Like, I really lucked out because my whole life I liked knowing things, and I always especially loved math and computers. Like, my dad always brought home these old busted, computers from the bank that they kind of threw out because they were too old, and so even back when I remember I was 13 or 14 years old, I'm trying to install Linux. I'm trying to like get games to run.
Linux, Red Hat.
Exactly. Yeah.
Hacking that shit, man.
Exactly.
I remember I made the worst mistake ever. Like this was like, I don't know. I wasn't 12 I was probably like maybe 14, 15 at the time or whatever. And this is like when the infamous Windows Vista came out or whatever. It was like everyone's like Windows Vista, and I was like, I'm gonna upgrade to Windows Vista because I'm gonna be so cool. It looks so great. And all my friends were like, this is garbage. Don't do it, Will. Don't do it. And I think I was working at the time. Like I don't know, Zaxby's or something. And the cost of Windows Vista, like a full Windows Vista, was $249.
Yeah.
And of course they had like home and business, whatever. And I ended up bricking like my XP computer, and I tried like installing Linux and kind of doing all sorts of extra stuff to like maybe make it work as a computer.
Right.
And I was like, I have to go back to Windows. And so I dropped the $250 plus tax at Best Buy on Windows Vista. It was a critical mistake.
It was great.
It was a critical.
Oh yeah.
was tough. So Linux. You're talking about you as 12 years old, always being interested with coding.
Yeah, Linux, we couldn't. I never had the money to buy Windows Vista or anything like that. Like I just didn't have money, and so, what do you do when you don't have money? Oh, you buy a really old, crappy computer and you put Linux on it, and it's really nice these days. Like pretty much, I haven't even had to think about it in the last probably 5-10 years. But back in the day, you had to like find some random website and find some random driver and install that.
Make sure it's not corrupted.
Around. Yeah, make sure it's not corrupted. And
512.
Exactly. You had to worry about like, what are the IRQ channels for this? Well, like all this kind of weird stuff that you don't have to do anymore.
Oh shit, man.
And in doing that, I got really good at like turning bad computers into good computers. And that kind of started me on. Then I wanted to be a hacker, like a computer hacker.
Yeah, you were like, I can make mad money here. I can do it for good or bad.
Exactly. And I had fun doing that. And it's some things that
it's fun. It's really it pushes it to realize that you understand the back doors of certain things that people don't recognize. Or like, I remember the first time I hacked into like Windows 7 or something like that. I ended up like making. I don't know if it was like I was locked out or something. But I ended up making like they used to have like the magnification glass or whatever. Ended up making that like the command prompt to run, and then like boot. Like I was like, I'm so smart.
Yeah.
Right. And I remember the days of Windows, like Windows XP. Like if you booted it up in startup mode or whatever, that shit just was like in.
Well, and back in those days, the ME days in '98, like there was no security. You could do whatever you wanted. Yeah.
They're like, internet. What's that?
Yeah. Oh no, I remember getting on the internet, like the dial-up. I don't know if you were around for dial-up. But
no, I remember dial-up.
My phone
I
was
remember
like
AOL.
I get these big fights with my family because like the dial-up would be used all night, and no one can get a call. Yeah. Right.
Shit, man.
Yeah. And
You've got mail.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that shit was horrible. But we all were like every page took 2 minutes to load. You could see the pictures. Oh, those were the good days. That's why That's why I fucking have appreciation for the things that we have right now. Like I feel like this generation doesn't understand like the crap that we had to deal with. That was like the internet, like AT&T. I hate AT&T. But they got me. They came over and they were like, hey, look, we can upgrade your internet to 300 megabytes per second. And I'm like, my charter does 10 megabytes per second. And it's fast. Like I'm thinking I'm good. And I finally got upgraded, and it's ridiculous. Like 300 megabytes per second. Like people don't understand how much that's changed. Like websites, web pages, if your site was over half a megabyte or like that was the difference between someone actually closing, a cart on their thing versus whatever. 300 megabytes per second. It's fucking sick. Anyways, digress. So you always knew you were going to be a somewhat of a coder, or like somewhat of like know that you were going to be in the maths kind of coding kind of.
Well, yeah, in the computer hacking, I was good at that. And the only thing I remember is someone saying like, "Oh, if you want to be a real hacker, you have to learn programming. Like you have to learn C++ and Perl and all these things." And I was like, "Okay."
Yeah.
And I learned that, and I stopped doing the hacking. I grew up, and I was like, "All right, well, this isn't so fun anymore." But I still had the programming, and that just perfectly that probably went into college, and I got a degree, and like.
I remember going to Barnes & Noble now. This is when Barnes & Noble took over. And going and looking at all the scripting books like JavaScript, and CSS, and HTML. This is when they wrote it out in the book. And you go home to your computer and try to solve the problems and all that shit. Like, oh my God, people don't understand like the.
Oh yeah, now there's all these coding sites like help you learn and stuff.
Those didn't exist.
I learned from like a bunch of like FAQs and like people yelling at me and being mean to me on the internet, and occasionally telling me something good, like just copying what they did, and
Truth, man.
That's how I learned it. I didn't learn.
We learned it the hard way. It was the best way, though, right? I think it's one of those things where you have like ice cream, right? And you got 3 kinds of ice cream. And so you pick, but now that you have so many options, you don't know what to pick.
Yeah, that's the hard part, right? Is someone's like, "What site should I learn on?" And I go,
There's
Just
this,
pick one. There's like 20. Like,
The
if
big
you don't
thing-
like that one, pick another one.
The
Like,
big thing is just starting, man. Like so many
Yeah.
people just make excuses about not being able to do something because they're not willing to start.
Yeah.
Like anything that is worth doing is going to take hard work. It's going to take your input, but when it's your fucking passion, when it's your love, like it's not really work. It is, but it's not. Like
Right.
it's you getting to another level in your mind of like leveling up like Mario style, like
Yeah.
you know,
Exactly.
just like it's I don't know, like and if you're not pushing yourself further, then you get stagnant. But like the worst part is people just don't start and they blame it on like I was dealt a bad hand, or I had a bad childhood, or someone won't let me, or
Right.
you know,
Or
I
I'm
don't
not
have as much,
smart
you know, I don't
enough,
have
or-
enough money as you. Like literally you have a supercomputer in your pocket right now. It's
right.
like there's no excuse. And I get that we all have our own stuff, and that's why I'm empathetic and very like I understand people go through so much stuff. I go through so much stuff myself, and that's why you don't really hear me talking about like, oh, I have it so hard. Like
yeah.
I've gone through a lot of stuff, but so have you. So let's talk about like what we can do and make shit happen. Like
Yeah.
I love people that are positive. It used to be that I was fishing so hard to like be rich or be like that corporate douchebag businessy guy. Like I was reaching so hard for that shit. Like
I hate my job, so I can't wait till I'm able to run my own business and have my own employees, and I can tell them what to do, right?
Oh, really?
that shit's garbage, man. Like
never-
if you become a boss,
You never came off that way.
no, but like I've grown over, and maybe it's not like that, but at the same time, it's like one of those things where you like a lot of people see people, and it's so much easier now, like to see people that are doing so much better or so much more.
Yeah.
And the realization is this, right? Whatever it is that's going on in your life right now, like it's so much more important for you to just enjoy the process and be
Yeah.
happy right now than to try to reach for something that will eventually come. That's why like college is one of those things. It's like, oh, you put in all this work here and one day you'll be happier. You put in all this work here and one day you'll have a career.
Yeah.
And I'm like, fuck that. I'll have a career today, whether that's like making no money or making some money. Don't get me wrong, you got to pay the bills or whatever. You got to be able to pay the bills. But here's my thing. Like, if you make your life, like, say you have a 9 to 5, you're working fast food, right? It's not you don't want to be in the fast food industry. You don't want to be in the movie ticket, whatever. That's just your thing. Cool. But if you take those few hours, you wake up at 5 to 8 or 4 to 8, and you do something you truly love every single day, and you make that thing, that's that moment in time where you wake up and that's just you, and that's just what you are. That means like when that fucking job, like when you get fired from that job or you quit that job or whatever, it doesn't take away from your confidence. A lot of times people finally make it to a nice job, a big job that they've been dreaming about.
Yeah.
Dreaming about making it to Google or Apple or whatever, right?
Right.
So that's them. I'm the Apple employee. You know, I'm not Will. And so
Right.
when I get fired from Apple, all of a sudden I'm not that anymore. Like,
Yeah.
and I have no clue. But if it's like I worked for Apple, but I've always been fucking doing all this video shit, all this graphic design stuff, it's like, okay, cool.
Yeah, yeah.
On to the next.
Exactly.
Let's figure out something. I'm still me. I'm still going to wake up, whether I'm working, pushing hoods, like heavy-ass hoods from Toyotoma, I'm still going to do the same shit, man. And I think that's the mentality, man. Like, people, you have to realize that it's not, like, you can blame everyone else.
Yeah.
But the big thing is when you stop blaming and you just start being you, like it's all, you are who you are, you have what you have, it gets so much easier. Like,
Yeah.
and that's why, like, I don't know, I appreciate people that I don't, like, if you're making mad money, if you're not making any money, like, the thing that I really care about, the thing that I really mesh with people is, like, with their passion. Like, 'cause that's what's with them almost for life.
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? Like, that's something, like, you might change a couple things. Like, I've gone from art to graphic design to web design to filmmaking. All those are there. they're all in, roughly sisters or whatever. And even if they weren't, they're still part of me.
Yeah.
So enough from Will.
No. On that, that's like, I always respected the sheer output. Like,
Yeah.
you're producing so much shit. Like, that's the secret, I think, of all people who make stuff is just get it out there, do your passion. You seem to enjoy it. Like,
That's
it's
the
impressive.
thing. Okay, so let me, since you're on that, let me kind of mention this. And this is literally this is practical as shit. Anyone can pick this up today. And I promise you, like once it shifts in your mind, one, you got to realize it's a long game. It's a long run. That's okay. Like, you're not gonna get rich quick. It's not gonna happen. That's cool.
Yeah.
When you stop thinking about that, that's cool. What you can do, say that all of a sudden I want to be a guitarist. I don't.
Yeah.
But let's just say, for instance, I want to pick up a guitar. Well, the big thing that a lot of people do, like why they're scared, is like, I don't know how to play this thing. I don't fucking
Right.
I can't go in front of people and like try be a guitar specialist. I'm not that, and that's true. But what you can do is show your process. You're like, guys, woke up today at 5 a.m. and tried to fucking learn how to play Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, and that shit sucked. My fingers are bleeding. Guys, woke up, went to a bar. It was completely nobody there. Sucked. Here's what it is, right? And here's the crazy part about that. This is documenting your process, not just you being an expert. People see that shit. They recognize you as a real person. They see where you started, and they continue to see that growth. And they know that you didn't come up overnight. You're one overnight success. Nobody's a fucking overnight success. Nobody. Like, everyone puts in hard work, but you just the attention finally just shifts to this person. Somehow you get to see this person in your feed or in your whatever, and you like, oh wow, they're so amazing. But no, they started just like you at the bottom, trying to learn, trying to do shit. So you can either document your process, and the best thing is picking up a camera, or if you're not good on camera, I'm telling you, podcast is easy as shit.
Yeah.
Podcast is easy. This right here, this is extra. You pick up a recorder, your phone, whatever, and you talk into it for 10 minutes, you got an episode.
Okay.
And that's what I do actually every day. I go to work, and I talk about whatever's going on. Like, a couple days ago, I'm talking about like and stuff, like this new social platform. It doesn't have to do anything with my craft per se. It's like kind of about the creative process. Some days I might be having a bad day. People want to know you, and more on this online game, this online process. Like, it's so easy to be fake. So easy to just like show the best moments. But when people consistently see that you are a real person, that you're consistently putting in the work, you're going to come up in their mind when they think of like, oh, I need someone to play at my bar or play at my whatever. Like, they see that they're like, okay, they finally got to this point. They put in the work. They're real, dope. And that's what it is. So if you notice at the very beginning, very end of all of my episodes, mostly, like, hey guys, what's up? This is Will Mosley. I make films about the creative process. If you need a promotional film, trade show kit, brand identity, logo, etc., whatever, I got you. Go over to heywillmosley.com to get a quote. That little piece right there, that's the ask, but it doesn't have to do anything with whatever the topic is. Like, we're talking right here at the very beginning of this, it's going to be like right there. At the very end, it's going to be there. But all the content this content right here isn't for me to sell another website. It's for me to have a genuine conversation with you, us like talk and be real and like laugh about Linux and shit.
Right.
And people will relate naturally.
Okay.
And they'll hear the website over and over again, or film over and over again, and they'll be like, I need a film. And it's not because I make great films, it's because they love the brand, the person behind the brand, and they also respect the talent. Those two things. And that only happens if you're continuing to put yourself out there. And not for you to get a sell. Like, notice that. Like, I'm not making this content so I can get another sell. I'm making this content because I want other people to understand the creative process, for them to just enjoy life, and to have real connections with real people. I do believe, however, though, by doing this consistently, that eventually people are like, fuck, I want to hang out with Will, or fuck, like, I need something from Will. He's genuine as fuck, let's do it. So that's what I recommend, practical. Start today. Carve out 2 hours in your morning. Just do whatever it is. Document it by doing a podcast or putting your camera phone in front of you and talk about it and post it. You have to post it. If you don't post it, it's so hard to post it. But once you start posting, you realize like every piece of content is just another fucking piece of content.
Yeah.
It's like another like, sat on the toilet today or what. Right, like it's right. It doesn't have to be perfect, and that's the thing that I hate about corporations is. Like, I love my job at New Human, but there's so many approval processes between getting that is that it becomes vanilla.
Yeah.
Like, me, I post a picture of my kids. I post a picture about, like how to, like, what I think about the platform. I post a podcast about coding. Like, and all these are just related by creative, but they also not limited by anything.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yeah.
So, coming back to you.
Okay.
When did you feel like you went from like novice to expert in what you do? Not when you made a lot of money, but when you felt like when things came your way, you can handle that.
I'm not sure. I've always felt, I don't remember the time when I didn't know how to make a computer do something. Like, I always figured it out. I always did it, like you're talking about. I always just felt supremely confident in making computers do what I wanted them to do. Sometimes it's a little harder than others. Like, sometimes I have to, figure stuff out. Sometimes I have to think about it for a while.
But troubleshoot some shit, like look that up over here, go through the...
Right.
But there's a feeling to it, man.
But the regular feeling is like, I always felt like I could make it do whatever. And I always enjoyed doing it. Just enough. I just recognized that it would have to take enough time to, actually figure it out. But where I became an expert, not a novice, was probably about 5 years after I got my first job. Like, I had a really struggle to get my first job. And I tell all the programmers that I know, like, your first job is the hardest one you get. After that, people see that, someone else hired them. They can't be that bad and hire them.
Yeah, proof of concept.
And I met a lot of people who were hired for the first job and shouldn't have been, and they're just terrible still after 20 years.
Don't we all know that?
But 5 years after college, and I guess that was 3 years of my professional career, I suddenly got good. And I think that was like right around, I've been programming for about 10 years at that point. Because I started when I was 14 or something.
You realize that's clocking 100,000 hours, man?
Yeah.
It's like it's real. Like
Right. And I got that 10 years, and then all of a sudden, programming was easier. I picked up more languages.
It's like a language, man. It's like CSS is that way for me. Like,
yeah.
All the other languages, they're good. I got it, but CSS is just like one of those things where it's like writing a letter. Like I can write. It's like writing out something in my mind, and it's just like I don't even think about it anymore. It's just like it works.
And that's how it was. Is I stopped thinking about languages and I started thinking about problems, and like. It wasn't. I don't even think about programming languages anymore. I just know
what it is.
I pick up a new language. It takes me about 2 weeks to figure it out, and then I have it all in my brain, and I just have to figure out problems. And the problems what take up most of my time. The actual kind of sausage making of putting stuff into the computer doesn't take any time. And so about 10 years after I started programming, that's when I went from like, I know how to do this. Like,
so let's back up a second.
Sure.
By profession, you call yourself a data scientist.
Correct.
Define that for me,
So, data science it's a really ambiguous term. I started out right before it's a fad title. Like, I started out
full stack developer.
Exactly. Yeah, it's like a full stack developer. Right. I started out and I was an analytical engineer, and basically what I was is a little bit statistician, a little bit programmer, a lot of database, big data kind of stuff. And that's what some people use to say data science is that we're doing machine learning models or statistical models on millions and billions of rows of data, whatever that is.
So collected data, like almost like pulling a lot of anonymous data to make assumptions about.
Or not anonymous, yeah. So my first job, the one that had was probably the most fun and the biggest data was MasterCard. Mm-hmm. We had all the credit card transactions in the world. Jeez. 1 billion. Some countries do 1 billion transactions a day.
It's insane.
Yeah, because each person, 300 million people in the U.S., and probably half of them have a credit card, and maybe you swipe that thing 3 or 4 times a day. That's a lot of data, right?
Yeah.
And so you have to do a statistical model on that. That requires a lot of specialized skills around statistics, math, computer science, database programming, that kind of thing. So that's what I call it. And so you wear a bunch of different hats. Someday you're a statistician, someday you're a mathematician, someday you're a programmer.
Every day is a little bit different. That's kind of how it is as
Exactly.
creative director, for real.
Yeah. And there's a creativity to it because the creativity comes in where it's still so new. Like all of the stuff you're working on, a lot of the things I've worked on in my career have been cutting edge, strictly because no one did that particular thing yet.
That's what
There's
people
a lot of
don't
low-hanging
realize.
fruit,
Like it's
right.
like it's all this stuff. We are literally in the future right now.
Exactly.
And people don't think that. Like
No,
they're like
I
they're,
think it, yeah.
they're like, oh my god, whatever. But like the fact that it still blows my mind about how Wi-Fi and cell phones work.
Oh yeah.
Something that we don't see connects to something all the way up here in literally nanoseconds.
Yeah.
And allows me to take my voice
Right.
and connect it to you in Japan or in
yeah.
wherever instantly.
Yeah.
That's magic.
It is.
People don't see that, but it's
Well,
magic. When
you know,
people
I'll tell you, I still, to this day, I get that feeling whenever I log into another computer and I'm controlling a computer from
virtual
across the
machines,
internet.
yeah, you're like, this is sick.
No,
man.
any computer. Like,
This is sick.
anytime I log into another computer, like a world away, and I'm like, I'm controlling this computer. I'm in North Carolina. This computer's in Washington.
It's so
and I'm
true.
making it do stuff.
It's
Like,
so true, man.
yeah, it's amazing. Like, I still, every time I think about it, I'm just like, oh, that's, yeah.
And when I think of that type of stuff, when I
Yeah.
think of that, like, my appreciation level for what I already have right now.
Yeah.
Like, there's plenty of times when I'm looking at, like, this Mavic 2 is so great. But the fact that I have a plane that I can control
Yeah.
and put in the air and it doesn't drop out of the sky, that I can get, like, what could I want more for? And of
Right.
course there will always be something like I see, oh man, I can do this. But like if you've learned to live with what you already have, and the things, it gets smaller and smaller. Like
Yeah.
literally the phone is all you actually really need. Food, water, shelter, phone.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's it, man. And like you could do anything with that. Like the communication. I understand how people do it now. Like it's people just, the more and more that we become, like, we're androids if you really think about it. Like,
Yeah.
you know, we live halfway in a screen right now. Like you look around and it's half the population is looking down at their phone.
Right.
But before long, it's going to be VR, where we're seeing real world and whatever. And it's going to get to the point where no one fucking even does, like they're in the Matrix or whatever.
Yeah.
And that's reality. It's not like some fantasy manga, anime, whatever
Right,
now.
right.
Like it's reality. And so like the big thing that I want to get back to is I don't even have to push hard for technology to be affordable. Like it's eventually going to be affordable. If whatever I need, it's going to drop in price, or I just need to be okay with buying the lower whatever. And like, and like, when you stop focusing on all the different tools and you actually realize, okay, shit, this all actually comes down to relations
Yeah.
and people, like what matters, like my kids, my wife, and then like we're gonna have like our friends that we grew up with. I think there's something about that. Like there's people before all this kind of happened, people that you hang out with, but like the majority of the people that we know now are all straight internet, all like that's like you know them from internet. So I think there's something about having a community of people that kind of support the passion that you do. I think the reason why we like so much and shares and stuff is it's a signal of like someone's appreciation for whatever your work is, you know. So I can see why it's so addicting, but it shouldn't be about the numbers. It shouldn't be about subscribers. That's why a lot of people are like, Will, you should be at so many more subscribers. Like, I don't get it. And it's not about that. It's like, it's cool. Like, more people, like, the more you can actually, like, hey, buy my t-shirt because you love my brand. Thanks. But it's really about the creative process, enjoying, like, what you do and knowing that computer's going to piss you off sometimes.
Yeah.
But you can always come back to it, figure out that problem, and just feel good. You know, I don't know. There's just something about that, and a lot of people don't get that. Like, that's what creatives are. Like, we have hard times when we go through creative muck, where it's just, like, if I'm not creating, I become a dick. Like, I get mad because I'm in a process of not creating. I'm like, oh, it doesn't matter if I released something a week ago.
Yeah.
It's like I released something a week ago, and then all of a sudden I'm like, fuck, why haven't I touched this camera, or why haven't I whatever? And then the minute that I start getting in that process of making something, I'm so much more nicer.
Okay.
So data scientist, that's pretty, like, a lot of people look at that and they're like, that's some pretty big, intense stuff. Like what's up, fire truck?
Yeah.
So, real world application of this. You named credit card type stuff.
Yeah. The first job was awesome. Credit card fraud. We did national security models. We did credit, lots of stuff. So the real world applications are, for machine learning today, is you take some data set with a bunch of data and you try to predict something about it, right? So
you make a hypothesis about it?
Exactly, yeah. You either you go, okay, well, so credit card fraudsters, a lot of it's cross-border. So they steal a credit card out of a database, and then somewhere in Cambodia they make a fake credit card and they swipe it. This doesn't happen so much anymore because of various security things, but you swipe it in Cambodia, and then you want to be able to detect. I mean, that's really easy to detect. It's happening in Cambodia, but you finally figure out patterns that are a little stronger than that. So,
what you're talking about, a lot of people really take for granted. Okay, so like the way I kind of think about this is, I'm much more of a front-end developer than a back-end developer. Like my skills are on that side, and I have a good bit of knowledge about PHP, stuff like that. And a lot of people, they look at the search bar in Facebook or the status bar, and they see the design. And they might notice that the color is off, or that the spacing isn't just right. But what they don't realize is all the programming that goes into making sure that what they type doesn't crash their system.
Right.
What they type doesn't, like, auto gets all these different variables, all these different things that you don't even see. And so many people don't think of that. Like, people get pissed off at Facebook. Facebook is fucking down right now.
Right.
I can't believe it. I can't see my images.
Yeah.
Like, do you understand, like, billions of people are all on the same exact house right now, and they're formulating paths and whatever to make all that work while doing credit card like, it's insane.
Yeah.
And like, that's why that's why I'm just so grateful. Like, it used to be that you had to, if you wanted a website, you had to build that shit like for real yourself. You had to understand all the hard code. You had to understand how to implement an SSL certificate. You had to understand
that's
how
when
to,
I learned it.
You know what I mean? Like, you had to
it from the HTML and JavaScript.
A little bit of Linux. You had to understand a little bit of that.
Yeah.
You had to understand like how to even connect a fucking domain to CNAMEs and yada yada yada, all that type of stuff. And you would paid mad money for that. Like, that's real shit. And now, like, Squarespace, stuff like that, they just kind of make it happen automatically. And not even considering the drag and drop. It used to be you save, come over here, load up your browser at a different... We're in the future.
Well, and I do a lot of the back-end stuff, so I work on Amazon Web Services. And it's like, that's another magical feeling is, with like a simple program, I spin up 100 virtual computers. Like, like, with a button, automatic. I go, CNAME, boom, like, there's a DNS record, and it just automatically happens. Like, in the old days, you're right, you had to log in all these different servers and all these different places. And
coding errors out the ass.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that's how you really get, like, that's how you really learn it. Like, 80, 90, 95% of everything was an error. Like, you'd start, and then you get to the next error. It wasn't like you started, and it was like, that's done, and that's, like, you start on to the next type of error.
Right,
and you start to understand all the different levels of errors in it, and so you knew how to kind of, like, circumvent all that shit.
Yeah.
Like...
Well, even today, I still program, and that's my process, is, like, programming it how I think it should work, and then, there's an error, and I fix that. And, there's an error, and I fix that, and, like, I didn't think about that particularly right. Like,
that's why it frustrates me. Like, this is why I do more of the front end. Like, I try to advertise myself more as graphic designer, like web designer, whatever, because a lot of people that don't understand the craft don't understand the difference between something that'll take you 10 minutes, 2 hours, or 40 hours.
Exactly.
Like, it all looks the same to them, and I get it. But the only way that they can trust that you're doing it right is you continue to do what you do and do.
Right.
And it's hard because you get faster at your job, and then one day something hits that's hard that you have to look up and figure out, and people don't respect that you're just trying to like be as fast as you can, but it's going to take time, just like a car braking, right? You can do the rotors, you can do the brakes, you can do whatever, but all of a sudden there's something that just randomly goes wrong in the engine.
Right. Well, and the car always stays fairly similar.
Yeah.
They're all the same. They have the same parts, whereas that's the hard thing about programming is that I've done lots of programs in my life, and all of them have been different. Like,
everyone wants automation. I fucking hate the word automation because people think automation means that it's automatic.
Right.
Well, we do all this stuff to make it automatic.
Yeah.
And that's not even the fact that like when it breaks, you have to go in and fix it. Like I can have my dishwasher, run and it's automatic, but eventually something's going to happen within it.
Right.
And I'm cool with washing my dishes.
Yeah.
But I know that I have to actually pay someone to fix that. And a lot of people think that someone that set up the automation, all of a sudden it goes wrong in a year because they've installed something crazy, weird, stupid.
Right.
And it interferes. Oh, that coder was a bad coder. When really it's like, no. So that's why I phase more towards what people can visually see. I honestly...
Well, and talk about that other thing is that people never realize that you can automate forever.
Yeah.
Like, I think about things every day where if I had like 8 hours, I could make this way better. But I don't have 8 hours. I have to like finish these other things.
I want
so you can automate forever and never get to that like.
One 100%. Time, this is when I was like on my get rich quick scheme.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna hack Craigslist. I was like, I'm going to create a script that submits my resume to all these different job postings or whatever, and takes the job title and fills it in like appropriately in the email format and all that. What's up?
Oh, hey, Lindsay.
What's up?
Oh, I'm sorry.
This is Lindsay.
No, you're fine.
Yeah.
Hey.
I'm so sorry.
You're
I just did
okay.
something.
No, you're dope.
That's Lindsay. Yeah.
Oh man.
But hacking Craigslist,
Yeah, so that like literally they flagged me like after like 2 weeks.
Oh,
they were
okay.
like, suspicious. And you have to time the scripts to fire at a certain time, not too fast, not too.
Right.
Oh man.
Well, I heard a great one where some guy got on GitHub and he automated, or he had a script that just made him commit something every day, even if it was like nonsense. But his heat chart looked amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, he's committing code six days a week. He's committing like 40 commits a day.
I
6 days
remember
a
that
week.
shit.
And all these recruiters started going, oh, you're doing super great. And like it was the simplest like system of
That's
like
what scripts are for.
Yeah. And he got all these job offers just from like commit bullshit. Like I thought that was really clever.
Hey, you got to give it up to the hackers, the coders, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Oh man. Okay, so let's figure out a place to kind of wrap this because I want to walk or whatever. So, what would you, for anyone that's aspiring to be a data scientist, where would you tell them to kind of what tips would you give them to start with?
Yeah.
And also, what are some things some hard-ass lessons that you've learned that you could maybe pass on to that aspiring data scientist?
Right. Well, so data science, if I had to give a couple things, one, you got to be a great programmer. I mean, there's a lot of data scientists today that aren't great programmers, and they have a really tough time in their job because the first step of any data science job is, getting data out of the database and writing it to files and saving it to certain things. So you have to be good at programming.
So top 3 to 5 languages that you would say that...
Python, R, scripting, shell scripting. Those are the 3 big ones. You need to know how to do like command line stuff. Python and R. R is like a specialized statistical language. That's what most data scientists work in. Some work in Excel, some work in Tableau. These are like kind of data visualization programs. But that's the number 1 skill. The number 2 skill is databases. You can't work on big data without putting in databases.
Man,
it's just impossible.
SQL is always like, see, it wouldn't be for me because like I always looked at like a SQL table, I'm like, my eyes started like going like.
Oh, see, that's my bread and butter. Yeah.
Oh man, because I think it was just how I learned. I learned HTML, CSS, PHP, SQL,
right,
JavaScript, or whatever I say. So those are the languages. Like, keep on going. You're in the middle.
So databases. Second thing, you gotta get data out of the database. Like, that's important to understand how those work and indexes and all that. And then the third thing is doing the data science. So the machine learning, and there's lots of great courses like Udemy and Coursera and all these places have these machine learning courses, which are really great. So you can learn the actual like kind of algorithms that people typically use for predicting things. And then the only thing that I find like it's like a key driver for me in data science that they never really taught me, but I kind of picked it up, is that data science should be a science. Like you should have a really clear process and really clear record keeping
science,
and be very particular. People who are good at data science are good at on this experiment I did this exact thing, and here's all the programs, here's all the code, here's all the data. This result happened. On the next experiment, and like really meticulously.
That's interesting.
That's
how creative direction is too.
Yeah.
You're a director.
Right.
You understand a lot of different places, generally, or even a specialized, and you're able to communicate with all these different people or types of job positions in the company to be able to bring that all together.
Yeah.
And it's true. And then when you first start, it's all about kind of like, or at least for me, it was all about just like figuring out and creating the coolest thing. But after you create the coolest thing, then you start like figuring out like doing things systematically, and understanding the rules, and then understanding how to break the rules.
Exactly.
Like, I will never forget this book by I think Timothy Samara, and it's like something like 21 design principles and how to break them or whatever.
Yeah.
And it literally changed my life, because it was just one of those. It just takes one person in your life that has a different perspective. Maybe it's the same stuff, but just maybe said differently. Something. We all have that moment in time where it clicks for us, whatever it is that we're doing. And that book was like the absolute game changer that allowed me to go from like novice to specialist.
What's an example of a rule that?
So here's the thing. Look at this table right here.
Yeah.
What do you see?
Circular table. It's like made of stone, I guess. It's got little pieces missing, but it's kind of nice. I like it.
And we got a couple coffee cups. We've got a phone over here. Now, if you take a design principle, all elements of design are pretty much like a dot and a line. Dot, dot, dot. These are lines. And if you can break them down in your core, like your thing, you realize all of these things have similar things. And that means that you can actually visually make like the negative space, make all sorts of different things happen when you realize it's not a cup, it's a dot with a line. And I know that's like super basic or whatever, but it's almost like understanding like how to write the simplest piece of code, like the absolute simplest to get what you need. And once you understand how to do that, you understand all these different things. So that's just like one, learn typography, all that stuff.
That might be beyond me. I don't.
No, that's cool.
I don't quite get it. Yeah.
He's like, I don't know.
All right.
So
that's another thing I noticed as an expert, or like when I feel like I've got an expertise, and I'm still always learning. I'm still trying to like get better. But one thing I noticed is that I started liking simpler things. Like I started like, make it as simple as possible. Like don't fucking be complicated or
true,
like
man.
make it simple and no magic. Like
yep. So, two things before we wrap.
Sure.
Hardships, hard things that just like you learn the hard way that you would maybe recommend differently for a data scientist trying to make it in the field.
Hard things. Well, the hard thing today is that degree creep is coming into machine learning too. So a lot of people are only hiring masters and PhDs. And those masters and PhDs often aren't times what the business actually needs to solve their data science. Like they're trying to solve problems. The masters and the PhD doesn't have that capability. Yeah. But the business thinks that. So a hardship is like me. A while ago, I could get jobs pretty regularly, and now it's like, oh, you don't have a master's degree, you don't have a PhD, like.
And you're like, I understand it. Like the thing to me,
I don't need
it
those
drives
things.
Me nuts because it's like if I go to if I go to a gallery or something, or if I go to whatever, a food shop, like I don't want to, it's cool to see your serve safe shit, but if I'm able to see you make this beautiful, like meal, like I understand enough to know that that's good, that's amazing. Or the fine art, like the expression, like I don't need to see like that year, like you can tell, like it's so easy to weed out the bullshit nowadays.
Right.
Like people know when you're trying to sell them stuff. People know when you're trying to be fake or that you don't understand stuff. And the hard part about that is a lot of times in corporations, it's not the person.
Well, and they don't know that with data science. Like, that's
it's
the hard part.
It's hard because like a lot of times it's not the person that understands it that's hiring.
Right.
You know what I mean? And what looks good is just
especially data science. Like
it's like paper, and you're like, okay. So it kind of, you have to play both sides, which sucks.
Well,
like,
and that's a hard trouble I run into, is that I know what I'm talking about. Other guy doesn't know what he's talking about, but it both sounds like gibberish to the boss or the person in charge, and so it's my word against this guy's, and like he's got a PhD, so you know, and I'm like, well, no, that's totally wrong, and eventually I'm like proven right, but that's like usually at a political cost of either me not talking, us losing time in the business, or
so true.
You know, it fails.
I went through that too, and that it's hard.
Yeah.
Because it's either like you can explain for hours, and like you're trying to explain to the other person and try to make sense to the other person so that you save everyone time.
Yeah.
But you end up wasting so much time just trying to explain it for it not to even happen, and it just.
Well, and sometimes I don't even.
Yeah, you got.
Some people I just don't even like worry about it because they just don't understand and they don't know, but the person that could do something about it doesn't know either, and so.
So true.
It's like, all right, well.
All right, one other thing, and then we'll close. Like one other kind of like thing, hard, like either something that you have figured out now that you didn't know when you were just getting in.
I don't know. There's the only thing that popped to mind. The meticulous thing is definitely something that I didn't know and had to learn over and over. That's why I'm.
Do you think
on that.
Do you think that you can like be a data scientist in a year?
Maybe. Yeah. It depends on what you mean. Like, to come back to that, the fact that the title is like
Give it
sexy,
to me. Yeah,
it means a lot of different things. Is that
I break it down into a few.
Some people are like data visualizers. Some people are like the machine learning, like AI part. Some people are just statisticians. Like, they just do SQL all day and make statistics. And you know, to be honest, for a lot of businesses, they just need someone to do that. They need someone to go through their database and like, you know, you have questions, and they just get statistics on those questions, and that's as far as you need to go. Like, you can make business decisions on just like simple counts and averages and medians and things like that. And a lot of business people think that they need like, you know, deep learning and artificial intelligence and all these things. Like, no, you need someone to get some stats for you and then put it in a report and then you make a decision on it.
Man, so good.
So you can definitely do that. Maybe for some of that research AI stuff, that's harder. You know, that might take more than a year. But certainly, you know, it's not an unapproachable skill. Like, all I have to do is know a little math, know a little programming, and you know, start from there. It's like making things. Just start predicting things, start getting statistics, start learning the math. Like,
I think that's the thing. Like, when you love something, what happens is you run into a problem, you learn it, and then you keep on going, and then you just do it. You know, the like history, English, stuff like that. Like, I couldn't do it. You know, I couldn't, like, I care about it. I like the stories, but like I can't when I run into a date or run into whatever, my mind's like, I don't want to learn that. It's like. But with a passion, it's like, all right.
Well, and that's my competitive advantage. I've always genuinely loved math and programming. Like, I just love them. Like, every day, I'm just like, oh, you know, that's cool.
All right, so this is like a hard ass, like, just like, all for you. Anything that you would like to, like, where can people reach you? What do you do? Like, what is, like, if someone wanted to get something from you today, like, go.
Facebook, you know, I'm on Facebook a lot, and then charles.lanahan@gmail.com.
Lanahan, spell out Lanahan.
Lanahan.
All right,
and
man.
I used to have a website, but it wasn't too good, so I don't anymore.
It's like, I'm on Instagram all day. Like, I'm oh God, I can go for hours about. I better stop.
Okay.
All right, so everyone, I really hope you enjoyed this special one. I learned a lot about data science. I'm about to say data scientist. It's really cool.
A lot about creative endeavors, directing and stuff.
It's so cool. Of course, if you guys need like a promotional film or a trade show kit or a logo or even a graphic tee to support the brand, you can go over to heywillmosley.com. Again, that's heywillmosley, MOSLEY.com. And of course, go over to Are we saying Charles or Alex?
Charles.Lanahan.
Charles.Lanahan. Go over to his Facebook, show him some love. That's right. All right. That's how we close it up.
All right. Thanks, Will.
All right, bro.
Bye.